Hello and welcome to another one of these movies. Okay, once again it's a repeated movie because I wanted to import some music and every time I do it Pro Tools keeps crashing on me. Okay, I'm working in the Q1.33 which has Windows machines which are running Pro Tools. Pro Tools should look fairly similar. There are a few differences, particularly since the hardware for recording and playing back is much less fancy. New session, I'm going to choose 24-bit 48 kilohertz. And because I'm using the M-boxes, much less fancy than other types of audio input hardware you can use with Pro Tools, Stereo Mix will do fine. I'm going to call this Pro Tools Movie 2B. That's the previous one. Didn't work so well. When I tried to import audio, it just crashed Pro Tools. It's done that a couple of times. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to record a bit of conversation, which is supposed to be between two people. Then I'm going to edit it into two separate tracks, which I can then modify to sound a tiny bit different. But they're not going to sound very different because they're both done by me. First, I'm going to make a new mono audio track and go create. I'm going to call this raw recording because I'm going to do other things to it. Okay. I check on the mix window the inputs and outputs, analog 1 microphone, that's good, that's where I'm coming from, and output is a stereo, which is good. Okay, I set that. I can already see there's a bit of audio going into the SM57 microphone over there. I'm going to check my options. I want low latency monitoring, so there's very small delay between me speaking and the sound reappearing back on my headphones. If I turn that off, that's going to sound weird when I try and record. Okay. Some of the other options we'll play around with shortly. Right, bring up the transport window, or in my case bring it from over there, and just check whether the MIDI controls are on. The count off is turned off, which is what I want, so I can get rid of that. If the count off's turned on, then it will, for example, count through 2 bars before it starts recording. So if you start recording and it takes a while before it gets going, it'll be the count off that's turned on. Okay. Set record, and because I've got a record enabled track, as soon as I hit play, it'll start recording. Except it won't, because I left the count off on. We can quickly get rid of that with the grabby hand and the backspace key. Okay. I've turned it off and on a few times and left it turned on. Okay. Right, this time it should start recording immediately, which it does, and I'm going to go record a conversation. Right, I'm on a SM57 microphone here. I'm trying to sort of place it so I won't get many pops. Pop, 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 pops. No, that's fine. Excuse me, mister. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can go to get some good food. Good food? You want good food? Well, go make some yourself then. Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't really think that's all that helpful. Okay, so I've done that. The microphone's still connected. Oops. And here's my audio. Now, some of that audio I want and some I don't, so I'm going to trim it. First, I'm going to normalize it. Here we go, normalize to -3 dB, my magic number, just a choice I make. Nothing special about it. Okay. Right, here we go. Right, I'm on a SM57 microphone here. I'm trying to sort of place it so I won't get many pops. Pop, 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 pops. No, that's fine. Excuse me, miss. Right, well, there's the bit I don't want, so I'm going to select that and backspace. I can, of course, use the trimmer tool for that as well. I'll play from here. Excuse me, mister. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can go to get some good food. Good food? You want good food? Well, go make some yourself then. Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't really think that's all that helpful. Okay, I'm going to use the trimmer tool, trim it back, and the grabber tool to move it back to the start. Okay, good. Excuse me. Right, okay, hitting spacebar to play. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this track. I'm going to make 2 duplicates, one of which is going to become one character, and one of which is going to become the other. Okay, I'm going to mute that track, or in actual fact, I can even more. Make it inactive, so that track's sort of not taking part of anything. It's not just muted, it's turned off completely, which is good if you don't want to take up too much, how would you put it, computing power. Okay, go into waveform selection, actually go into the trimmer tool, and I can trim. Well, I want this to be the first character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use separate by going into waveform selection, clicking where I can see the difference between the two characters are. Go separate there, grab a tool, grab the bit in the middle, backspace, and it's gone. So that effectively becomes, if I solo that track, to only play that track, just the one character. So go back. Excuse me, mister. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can go to get some good food. Okay, that's the gap when the other character is talking. Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't really think that's all that helpful. Okay, so in actual fact, I should point out that that audio is still there. I'm trimming it, and it looks like it's gone. It's actually still there. So it's just the case that I have edited this track so it doesn't play back all the audio. For this one, because the audio only has one sequence of writing, that character only has one short excerpt of dialogue. We'll move that there. Let's play the whole thing back and see if we get something which sounds like a bit like a conversation. First, though, I'm going to take these two tracks. I'm going to change their name. I'll call this Polite Person. And I'll call this one Rude Person. Okay. Right. I'm going to change them and move their pan position so that one's a bit further left and one's a bit right. So they're not in the same position as they shouldn't be if they're two different people. Okay, let's play that back and see what it sounds like. Excuse me, mister. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can go to get some good food. Good food? You want good food? Well, go make some yourself then. Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't really think that's all that helpful. Okay, excuse me, mister. I was wondering if you could tell me where I can go to get some good food. Good food? You want good food? Well, go make some yourself then. Oh, thank you, sir, but I don't really think that's all that helpful. Okay, so we've got these two different tracks, and what might we want to do? We might want to put some reverb on them if they were speaking inside, but let's say they're speaking outside. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop this movie and start it as the next movie, because basically every time I try and import some music, it tends to crash Pro Tools. Sometimes it doesn't, but if I stop the movie now, I've got this bit of the movie done well, or at least usable, and therefore I don't have to get rid of it if I have a crash. So that's the end of this bit of movie, and I'll see you in the next one where I try and import some music.